All right, are you ready to unlock some serious personal power today? Because we are diving deep, deep, deep into Sabiduría de los Chamanes by Don José Ruiz.
Oh, you are in for such a treat.
I am so ready.
Don Jose, he doesn't just lay out this ancient Toltec shamanic wisdom. He gives you the tools to actually put it into practice.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I'm so here for that. And, when I saw Don José's name, I don't know about you, but I immediately thought of his father, Don Miguel Ruiz, who, of course, wrote the Four Agreements.
Right.
Talk about a legacy. So we're basically getting a masterclass from the next generation.
We are, yeah. He builds on that foundation beautifully. What we're diving into is how to break free from those invisible limits that we put on ourselves and really step into our power, becoming what the Toltecs called, and this is cool, artists of the spirit.
Okay, artists of the spirit. I am intrigued. Break that down. What does that even mean?
Well, think of it this way. Most of us, we kind of go through life just, reacting to things, kind of letting life happen to us. But the Toltecs, they believe that we're not just these passive bystanders. We actually have the power to shape our reality, to create a life that's harmonious.
Right.
With ourselves, with others, with the universe.
Yeah, it's so true.
It's powerful stuff.
It's about taking control of the paintbrush, so to speak, and creating the masterpiece of our own lives. I love that. Now, that's an idea I can get behind. And speaking of taking control, Don José talks about the importance of personal freedom, but not just in the way, we typically think about it, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. He goes, I think, a layer deeper and suggests that true personal freedom, it starts with shattering the illusions that hold us captive. And by illusions, we mean all those beliefs and fears and societal pressures that tell us who we should be and how we should live.
Oh, tell me about it. We are bombarded with those messages from every direction these days.
Constantly.
Social media, advertising. Even sometimes, well-meaning family members, right? It's no wonder so many people feel stuck or unfulfilled.
Yeah, it's like we're all trying to fit into this mold that was never even meant for us.
Yes.
But, here's the thing that Don José really emphasizes. We don't have to accept that pre-made mold. We have the power to break free by dismantling those limiting beliefs.
Okay, but how? How do we actually do that? Because it's easy to say break free, but our beliefs, they can be so deeply ingrained, right?
Right. They can be.
It's
true.
So how do we get there?
That's where Sabiduría de los Chamanes gets really practical. Don José provides specific techniques for shedding self-judgment, navigating negative emotions, even breaking free from toxic relationships. He doesn't just, point out the problem. He gives you the tools to actually solve it.
So it's like a roadmap to reclaiming our power.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we have more agency than we often realize.
I love that. And this idea of agency, of making these conscious choices, it really comes through, in my opinion, in Don José's discussion of agreements, doesn't it?
Absolutely. He takes the concept of agreements, which his father explored so eloquently, to kind of another level. He talks about how we're constantly making agreements, both conscious and unconscious, that shape our reality.
Wait, so you're saying that we're agreeing to things without even realizing it?
All the time.
Right.
Think about it. A lot of our beliefs are simply agreements we've picked up along the way from our families, our culture, maybe past experiences. We accept them as truth without ever questioning if they truly serve us.
That's a bit of a scary thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're going through life operating on autopilot.
Totally.
Bound by these invisible agreements that we didn't even consciously choose.
Yeah. It's a trip. That's why self-awareness is so crucial. Sabiduría de los Chamanes encourages us to, shine a light on those unconscious agreements and ask, do these beliefs empower me or limit me? Do they align with the person I want to become?
It's like hitting the pause button on our autopilot and taking back control of the controls. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%.
I'm the pilot of my life.
You got it. And once we start recognizing those limiting agreements, we can actually choose to rewrite them.
Oh, like that.
We can create agreements that are aligned with our values, our goals, our authentic selves.
Okay. That's incredibly powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we have the ability to redesign the blueprint of our lives. So we've talked about becoming artists of our lives, breaking free from limiting beliefs, and consciously choosing our agreements.
Yeah.
This is already a game changer. What other gems does Don José unearth on this quest for personal freedom?
Well, he reminds us that we don't have to go on this journey alone.
Oh, good.
He encourages us to tap into the wisdom and support of the natural world.
Yes. I love that. Nature can be so incredibly healing. Like there's just something about being, I don't know, surrounded by trees and fresh air, the sound of water. It's like it just instantly calms the nervous system.
Right, it does.
Yeah.
But for the Toltecs and many shamanic traditions, nature is more than just a place to relax. It's actually a reflection of the divine, a source of profound wisdom and guidance. And Don José actually shares a really, I think, beautiful story in the book about like watching a spider spin its web.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's so profound about a spider web?
Well, I think for Don José, he saw it as this really beautiful metaphor for creation itself. Just like the spider meticulously weaves its intricate web, he's saying that we too are weaving the tapestry of our lives with every thought, every action, every choice we make.
Wow.
It's a powerful reminder that we're not actually separate from nature, but deeply interconnected with it.
Wow, that really puts things in perspective. So how do we tap into that wisdom, that interconnectedness in a practical way? Like how do we bring that into our everyday lives?
It's a great question. And, Don José, he suggests starting with something as simple as like taking mindful walks in nature, really observing the plants, the animals, feeling the earth beneath our feet. It's about, shifting our awareness from our busy minds to the present moment, to the beauty and intelligence that surrounds us.
It's like hitting the reset button on our perception.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of seeing nature as something separate from us, we start to recognize our own place within, the grand scheme of things.
Exactly. And that shift in perspective can be so powerful.
Right.
It opens us up to a whole new level of awareness, to the realization that reality is so much more expansive than what we perceive with our five senses.
Okay, now we're getting to the really juicy stuff.
Right.
So Don José suggests that there's more to reality than meets the eye, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He really dives into the shamanic view of reality, which encompasses not just the physical world, but also spiritual and energetic realms. He talks about how our perception is often limited by what we've been conditioned to believe, by the filters we've kind of placed over our own awareness.
So it's like we're looking at the world through a tiny keyhole when there's a whole universe out there waiting to be discovered.
Precisely. And according to Don José, we all have the ability to kind of expand our perception, to peek behind the curtain of our ordinary reality. And, he introduces practices like mindfulness and meditation as ways to quiet the mind and tune into those, I guess you could say, subtler realms.
Yeah. Meditation can be a game changer. I know it's helped me become so much more aware of my thoughts and emotions. But Don José also talks about some other, perhaps less conventional ways to explore these hidden realms. Like he talks about shamanic journeying, right?
He does. And this is where things get really interesting. Shamanic journeying is the practice of intentionally entering an altered state of consciousness to connect with spiritual realms, to receive guidance.
Okay, I have to admit, shamanic journeying, that sounds a little intimidating. How does that even work?
Well, it varies, depending on the tradition and the individual, but it often involves using like rhythmic drumming, rattling, maybe chanting to induce this trance-like state, this altered state. It allows the practitioner to access different realms of consciousness, to communicate with like spirit guides, to gain insights into their own lives and the world around them.
So it's like, guided meditation, but with a more, shall we say, immersive soundtrack.
You could say that. And, while it might seem out there to some, shamanic journeying has been practiced for centuries by cultures all over the world as a way to connect with the unseen realms and access this profound wisdom.
It's like tapping into the collective wisdom of humanity. But shamanic journeying isn't the only way Don José talks about exploring non-ordinary reality. He also dedicates a whole chapter to the power of dreams, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. And he approaches dreams in a way that you might not expect. You see, in the Toltec tradition, life itself is considered a dream.
Hold on, wait a minute. Life is a dream. I think I missed that memo.
It's a powerful concept, isn't it?
It is.
The idea is that we're all kind of dreaming our own reality into being with our thoughts, our beliefs, our perceptions.
Okay.
And just like in our sleep dreams, we have the power to shape the course of our waking dream.
So if we don't like the dream we're having, we can just change the channel.
In a sense, yes.
Okay.
By becoming aware of the thoughts and beliefs that are shaping our reality, we can start to make different choices, shift our perspective, and ultimately create a more fulfilling, more meaningful dream. And Don José, he also talks about the importance of lucid dreaming, the practice of becoming aware that you're dreaming while you're still in the dream.
Yes. I've heard of that. It's like becoming the director of your own dream world.
Mm-hmm.
But how does lucid dreaming, how does that relate to our waking lives?
That's the thing. The Toltecs believe that the same awareness that we cultivate through lucid dreaming can be applied to our waking reality. It's about recognizing that we're not just these passive observers in the unfolding story of our lives, but active participants with the power to actually shape the narrative.
That's an incredibly empowering thought. But dreams, especially lucid ones, they can be pretty wild and unpredictable. How do we make sense of them?
Yeah. Don José encourages us to kind of approach our dreams as messages from our subconscious, our intuition, or even, as some believe, the divine. He suggests keeping a dream journal to track recurring symbols, emotions, themes, and just like in shamanic journeying, working with an experienced guide or teacher can be incredibly valuable for deciphering the messages hidden within our dreams.
It's like having a personal dream interpreter on speed dial. So we've covered connecting with nature, expanding our awareness, exploring non-ordinary reality through shamanic journeying and dream work. It's clear that Don José is a big believer in tapping into the unseen realms for guidance and healing.
He is, and he really emphasizes that this healing journey always begins within.
So we're talking about self-healing. What does that look like from a shamanic perspective?
Well, it's about recognizing that we have the power to heal ourselves from the inside out.
Okay.
Shamans believe that many illnesses, a lot of imbalances, they stem from unresolved emotional or spiritual wounds, from carrying around this old baggage that no longer serves us.
It's like those emotional aches and pains can actually manifest as physical ailments if we don't address them.
Exactly, yeah. And while self-healing can be, challenging work,
Yeah.
it's also incredibly empowering.
Yes.
It's about taking responsibility for our own well-being and stepping into our role as our own healers.
So what are some practical steps that we can take to start healing ourselves?
Well, Don José, he suggests practices like forgiveness, self-love, releasing those old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve us. He also emphasizes the importance of connecting with our inner child, that part of us that's still, innocent, playful, and full of wonder.
It's about rediscovering that sense of joy and playfulness that I don't know about you, but I think we often lose sight of as we get older.
Yes, absolutely. And when we can connect with that part of ourselves, we open ourselves up to such profound healing and transformation. And, Don José, he also talks about the power of rituals and ceremonies for self-healing.
Okay, I'm really curious about that. What kind of rituals are we talking about here?
Well, they can be as simple or as elaborate as you like, really. It's about,
Right.
Creating this conscious intention to connect with your inner wisdom, to release what no longer serves you, and to invite healing and transformation into your life.
So it's less about the specific actions and more about the energy and intention behind them.
Exactly. You got it.
Think
It's
right.
about creating a sacred space, both within yourself and in your environment.
Right.
And Don José, he talks about the power of creating an altar, which is essentially a physical representation of your spiritual aspirations.
That's a beautiful idea. I've always been drawn to altars, even if I didn't fully understand their significance.
Yeah.
It's like creating a tangible connection to something greater than ourselves.
Precisely. And you can place anything on your altar that holds meaning for you, like crystals, candles, images, objects from nature.
Yeah, like little tokens and things.
Ex-
Yeah, it's like a visual reminder of your intentions, your connection to the divine, your own inner wisdom.
Exactly.
I love that.
And Don José, he also emphasizes the importance of working with, and this might sound a little out there for some people, but working with spirit guides as part of the healing journey.
Okay, spirit guides. Now we're really venturing into uncharted territory for, I think, a lot of people.
It can feel that way, but, just remember, the shamanic worldview really acknowledges the existence of realms beyond our ordinary perception.
Right.
And, spirit guides in this context are seen as these benevolent beings,
Right.
who offer guidance and protection and support on our life's journey.
So how do we even, begin to connect with these spirit guides? Is it I don't know, making friends in a new city? You just have to, put yourself out there?
In a way, yeah. Yeah.
It starts with, I think, intention.
Okay.
Expressing the desire to connect with your guides, to receive their guidance and support.
Okay.
And, meditation is a really powerful tool for this, as is spending time in nature, journaling, simply being open to the signs and synchronicities that show up in your life.
It sounds like it requires a certain level of trust.
Yes.
Of surrendering to the unknown.
100%.
Wow.
But as Don Jose reminds us, we are never truly alone.
Yeah.
We're always surrounded by these unseen forces, by this web of life that extends far beyond our, limited perception.
It's both, like humbling and awe-inspiring at the same time.
It is.
Yeah.
But I have to ask,
Yeah.
if everyone has the potential to tap into this wisdom, to connect with spirit guides, to heal themselves, what's the role of the shaman in all of this? Like, why do we need shamans if we can do it ourselves?
That's a great question. And in many traditions, the shaman is seen as like a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds,
Right.
a guide who helps others navigate those realms. But what Don Jose so beautifully conveys in this book is that we all have the potential to access that shamanic wisdom within ourselves.
So it's not about becoming a shaman in the traditional sense,
Yeah.
but rather about cultivating those qualities within ourselves.
Exactly. It's about connecting with our intuition, listening to our inner guidance, and trusting in our own innate wisdom.
It's about embracing that inner shaman
Yes.
that's always been there, guiding us towards a more fulfilling and meaningful existence.
100%.
I love that. And Sabiduría de los Chamanes. It's essentially like a guidebook for that journey, wouldn't you say?
It is. It is.
It's filled with these practical exercises and rituals to help you quiet your mind, strengthen your intuition, connect with your own inner wisdom.
Absolutely. It's like a toolbox for the soul,
Yes, it's like a toolbox for the soul. What are some specific practices from the book that you found particularly helpful, either personally or, that you've shared with others?
Well, one that really resonated with me is the practice of creating sacred space.
Okay.
Don Jose talks about how our homes, they can become these reflections of our inner state.
Oh, yeah.
And he encourages us to create a dedicated space, even if it's just a corner of a room,
Right.
where we can go to connect with our spiritual side.
So it's like creating a sanctuary for your soul.
Exactly. A place where you can meditate, you can journal, practice rituals, or simply be present with yourself.
I love that. And he also talks a lot about, we talked about it earlier, but working with your dreams.
Yes.
Keeping a dream journal to keep track of, those recurring symbols and emotions and themes.
Like deciphering the secret language, the language of our subconscious.
Yes, exactly. And he believes, Don Jose, that our dreams, they can offer these profound insights into our waking lives.
They can.
And he provides even techniques for remembering our dreams more vividly, for understanding their symbolism, and even, for engaging in lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
So much good stuff. We've covered so much ground today, from breaking free from limiting beliefs to embracing our inner shaman. But there's one more gem I want to highlight before we wrap up, and that is the power of gratitude.
Yes.
Don Jose emphasizes this a lot, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
Gratitude is like this cornerstone of shamanic practice, It's about shifting from a mindset of lack to one of abundance.
Yeah, because so often we're focused on what we don't have, what's missing from our lives.
Yes, Clint.
Gratitude is about, flipping the script.
Yes, 100%.
It's about appreciating the good, right?
It is.
The good that we do have in our lives, even those small things.
Absolutely.
And I think when we approach life from that place of gratitude, it just opens us up to receive even more blessings.
Absolutely. Like that saying, what you focus on expands. If you're constantly focused on negativity, well, guess what? You're going to probably attract more of that into your life. But if you can cultivate that sense of gratitude, it can really transform your entire outlook on life.
It's true. And it's not about, ignoring the challenges or pretending everything is perfect.
Right.
It's about choosing to see the good, even amidst, the difficulties.
Yes. It's about finding those glimmers of hope and letting them guide us.
Yes, exactly. And that's a powerful place to be.
It is.
It certainly is. Well, this deep dive into Sabiduría de los Chamanes, it has been, I'm not even kidding, incredibly enlightening.
It has.
It's given me, and I'm sure our listeners as well, so much to think about and explore in our own lives.
Me too, for sure.
And I love how Don Jose reminds us that we're not bound by our circumstances.
We're not.
We have the power to create the life we want, to heal ourselves, to tap into that, deeper level of awareness.
We absolutely do.
And that the journey, starts by looking within.
Yes.
By embracing that inner shaman that's always been there, guiding us towards a more fulfilling and meaningful existence.
Love it.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a final thought for you to ponder. If, as Don Jose suggests, life is but a dream, what kind of dream will you choose to create? Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.